Now, today's discussion is going to be a little bit spicy. We're talking about events that always bring the same experiences. Boring. And I know you guys are probably thinking about one right now. But yeah, you ever leave an event and you feel like you've ever been there before? Same vibe, same crowd, same aesthetic, same lineup. We want to know today. And of course, my lineup today for the Groove Theory episode, I brought the best of the best. People who genuinely always attend events. I'll let them introduce themselves. Who are we going to start with? Amira?
Right. What's up, guys? I'm Amira, aka Boss Lady, Amira Jeans. Yeah, man, I'm Zozo. People call me a lot of different things, mainly stakeholder. But yeah, that's me.
Wait, what's
Fire.
I'm Zozo.
like your name?
Yeah, I'm Zozo.
Zozo. Okay. Next, a friend of the pod.
Obviously, Ndlovu Kacheni, Boywenyath Mpongo, but you can call me 40K or you just say Nate or 40 bands. That's me.
Okay, so now just to, warm up Nyana, Amira, we're gonna start with you, right? I always see you at events, dog. So I wanna know, what is your role? What do you do at these events? Are you also an attendee or tell us?
Cool. So, my background's in events since I was 16.
What?
Yeah, so the role that I play in events is event coordination, event production, whether it's media management, artist curation, lineup curation, from the way the space looks, feels. So I've played my role in every bit and every, I think, department that ultimately puts a production together. So when you see me at an event, it could be either one of those elements that put everything together. Sometimes it's the entire production. And it all depends, artist liaison. And sometimes I am just an attendee. I think it's important to be a part of what you care about. I think it's important to show up for the community that shows up for you. I think it's important for us to support each other. We all work in the same ecosystem, whether it's for reasons of culture, music, whatever it may be. We're a part of this thing together. So what I value should also be what I act on, and that ultimately is me showing up for my allies and I guess peers and colleagues who are about the same thing and are trying to do the same thing.
Also, you said from 16. Amira, have you been grooving from 16?
Yeah, but I've been rocking. I've been rocking. I love music. I actually started out in music as a kid. My dream was to go to Juilliard. I said, Kwe.
Oh, man.
Then I fell into the event spaces, and it ultimately came from, friends of mine that were like in first year, creatives as well, doing different things, whether it's film, design, and us ultimately all having one love for music. Mm-hmm. And obviously that was during the time of like Brahm days and Boys and Bucks, the guys who were doing Onyx, Genesis All Black with Until, and it was peak that time. But what we didn't have was a space for the alternative kids, and for the new age DJs and where I was sitting at the time, that generation. And I think ultimately it was about all of us coming from the understanding of, if you don't have the space, own it, create it.
Yeah.
People will show up. And that's really what it came down to. So we started Corp. And I was 16 when I started Corp with my friends. Mm-hmm. And that ultimately led me into everything else that I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to know the first event you ever worked with, except Corp.
Except for Corp.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't even remember. First event.
Who gave you that chance?
Damn. Okay, it's hard to say. I think from an underground level, I was always involved in events. I used to help the boys at Nandini when it started. Me and Lelo started V&J Ball not long after Corp. And Lelo brought me on to work on production and all these different elements. But I think really who gave me my big break in terms of commercializing what I wanted to learn from an event side is Until. Shout out to the Until family. That's my fam. I think Tools, Slow Poison definitely gave me the spotlight into the bridge between your up-and-coming underground spaces and curation of event making into a more structured, commercialized balance. And so I got to ask the questions and learn the things and unlearn things that I may or may have not known at the time, hustling and figuring it out as you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, shout out to Slow Poison and the Until family. I think they really gave me the break into like opening up what events mean to me.
Yeah. And your biggest event?
Kaytranada.
I knew it. I saw you there. Tell me, how did you work with them? How did you guys meet? Did they come to you? Did you go to them?
So I'd like to give you context. I'd worked on big productions outside, but always as like a runner or media. Like I've always been on big productions on that scale, but being able to kind of lead it was my first time being a part of the leadership of what that meant. And I met the guys online a couple months way before, and they were coming down to SA, and I guess they needed to know, you know, who does
Who the
what
best
where.
in the game is. They need to know that. They told you.
Like, who does what where, you know, whether it's like site recce's to venues, whether it's, you know, the best content, whether it's the smallest thing like furniture suppliers, you know. And I guess we helped coordinate myself, my business partner Corbin and myself, through our agency, started consulting for them and ultimately being a part of the execution with them and helping to project lead what it meant to do that scale of a production, being the first time in South Africa, and alongside of many other locals who consulted, advised, and are also a part of the industry and playing big roles. You know, it wasn't just me and Corbin. But yeah, that's ultimately, I think, from a leadership of like taking on lead, definitely the Kaytranada show has been the biggest, where like all those elements I was talking about, you know, we had to play a role. Me and Corbin had to play a role in each of the departments. We'd been a part in other ways, but not all at the same time. So it was cool. It was a dope experience.
Also, you said agencies. So do you do more than just events? Ari, please tell us.
So myself, Lenzo Wanabenzo, and Corbin started an agency not so long ago. We're launching soon. It's called Hatful.
That's a fire name. That's a fire name.
But why that name? Before you carry on?
So it comes from the background, I think, for all three of us, I think all of us, you know, rightly so, have worked in the industry in different fields, whether it's agency background, events, and we've all tapped into all of these different fields. And it's come from, you know, I think as a young creator, a lot of us do what we do and we create platforms like this because we're hatful.
Yeah, we tired.
You know,
we
we're
need it.
hatful. A lot of what drives, I think, the three of us, and I speak for myself though, is the lack of agency. The lack of agency for young people, the lack of access, and it all comes down to the lack of knowledge and learning that knowledge and having the space to learn that type of knowledge. So the heartful element came from like, you know, us also being artist managers and seeing the fight and constantly every day living the fight. And I mean, many of us experience it. And I think one day I just said, dog, I'm heartful. And then we were just like, yo, that's the name. Like, me and Lenzo were like, yo, that is it.
That's
like, heartful. Yeah.
That's a fire name. That's a fire name.
Let us know the upcoming events on your calendar. What should the people look forward to? Where will they find?
No, we've got stuff cooking. I can't disclose, but there's stuff cooking.
The one that you can disclose, Amira.
Nah, I'm not going to disclose anything.
Okay. Now let's get into why events are starting to feel a bit repetitive. Now, guys, I want you to tell me, right? Can you name the last event that you guys went to that truly felt new? Like it didn't feel like, I've been here before. It felt like this the last time. I want to know.
Oof.
SOS on natives. Shout out to my boys. And I genuinely say that only purely because it's the new age, in my opinion, of what piano is. There's a community around it that doesn't have ego. It's not about competition. When you walk into that space, there are young people, there are people of all ages, and everyone's purely there for the music. You know, like, I think it's the one place I don't see cameras coming out all the time. Like, people's phones are not in their hands, you know what I mean? And I think you hear piano you've never heard by young kids, like, and it's piano that's vibey, it's up, it's really about the music, and the space is about the music. So there's a very much like, there's an intentionality about it. And I think we sometimes lose that. And it's really about the community. That event space, that property, it's young, it's new, but it's really about the community and it's about the kids. And it's, even where it's located, it's accessible. So shout out to Soul Natives. You guys are doing your thing. Yeah, man, check SOS out, guys.
When do you have an event?
Jeez.
Yeah.
There's so many though. I would have said a recent one that my friend did. It's called Sounds Good by Siyamthanda Mqele. Yeah, man, like it was a different experience and it was well created. And it wasn't so commercialized. It was like in Bram, and it was just, if you knew, you knew. And everyone just pulled up, and it was a nice vibe. So I love that. It felt new. Even though like it was my friend doing it, it felt new for me. And yeah, there's a lot of other events that I would mention, but that one's like top of mind for me. Yeah.
And if you guys had an unlimited budget, how would your event look like? What would you do different?
Yo.
Just one thing. Just one thing you would do different.
Yo, mate.
You know
Yo,
these
dude.
things we're seeing at events, guys, that you guys are always complaining about. And you want to tell me that right now, you don't have that one thing that you do completely different? Something. Give me something.
Okay, I think I would definitely bring the artists that everyone is asking for on social media.
You would bring.
Yes. Like
Isn't
if
that
I
what everybody's already doing?
not really. Like there's some alternative artists that people should book, or even organizers or festival organizers should book, but they're not booking them because they probably won't get the return on investment. So if I had limited budget, I would book the ones that I know, like, okay, probably won't get in return on investment, but I know that people will appreciate the live music and the good sound. Yeah, that's what I would do.
So you're basically saying that these events are booking the same artists, bannerling following, basically. It's not about...
I mean, they're not...
It's okay to say that. It's okay, because we do see the
50-50.
same lineup over and over.
It's 50-50. Obviously, some organizers and event festival organizers will bring the people that they have a good relationship with. And you'll always bring people that are available. Some of the artists that we'd want are not available. Some maybe are doing EPs, albums, or maybe some are just too expensive at the time. So I wouldn't say it's like a repeat. I would just say, you know, they bring the people we want, but it's also the consumer. The consumers are not willing to pay the amount of money for those people that they want to see.
Damn.
So it's both on the organizers and the consumers. You can't be saying you want a very top artist who's at the top of their game, but then you're not willing to pay that ticket price and you complain about it. So yeah, I feel like it's both parties, unfortunately.
2 artists you'd bring to your event?
Ooh, I'll bring Amira Shariff and
Fire.
yeah, I'll bring Amira Shariff and I'll bring Kid Cudi. Yeah.
And you?
Also go back.
To that question,
Yeah.
yes. So one thing you do differently?
Dog, my money would go into production. The experience. I think we've forgotten that festivals and events are about the experience more than anything. You know, like the music is an element of that experience, but we've forgotten how to enjoy the entire event or the entire festival. And it's due to, oftentimes it's due to budget limitations. So as much as, yes, the act and the music and the lineup is really important because it's such a big key part of what that experience is. You know, we need to start remembering to go to these events and festivals for the experience, not just for the lineup.
True.
And again, like, and I'm sure you'll probably get to this later on, but again, this is why we feel like lineups are monotonous. We feel like there's a routine to them. And ultimately, if I'm gonna bring anyone this side, if I had to, Cleo Soul, like, I think she deserves it.
To your event?
Like, if I had to bring someone to my event, I would want to bring Cleo Soul.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Who else? Don Toliver.
Ooh.
Yeah,
okay.
Don Toliver. Definitely Don Toliver or Cleo Soul. Yeah.
Also, you said something about the production, right? You know how in SA, or the stage like design is always a bit boring. You know, people always just come,
100%.
big artists. They always come, do the same thing that maybe SA artists would do behind the booth. Nah, that's it. So now Travis Scott is coming. And we know that his production, his stage design is always huge. So do you guys think that big concerts is willing to take out the money and give us that production that Travis Scott always gives us, or is it just going to be a normal feed, normal stage? What do you guys think?
Amira can go first.
No, what about
Okay.
No, I'm joking. I hope they do. Look, all I can say is I
you
hope
think
that
they
they
are,
do.
though?
And I hope that whatever they pull off, like, good luck to the guys, good luck to the team. Genuinely.
They're so professional.
No, and I'm
Good luck
being
to the
professional
guys.
because
Good luck
it's
to the
like,
team.
I honestly don't know. And like, I'm also putting my shoes in their shoes.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their constraints are. I don't know what their limitations are. And I think, and I'm sure as a consumer of these things, especially for someone like Travis Scott, your expectations are always going to be high. But like, as someone who also sits in the background, there's limitations, and there's, whether it's production limitations, cost limitations, you never know what you're working with or dealing with. So I hope that for whatever the team is working with and whatever they've got to make that amazing, that they kill it, honestly.
Sure.
That was vague. But it's okay. It's okay. Nate, I know you are going to give us the opinion.
Honestly, she said everything that's correct that I would say.
Mara, when do you think they're going to give us? Okay.
Okay.
It's my question.
Okay. Like, it all comes down to budget. Like, you can't have a Coachella type of thing.
But we know that Big Concerts has the budget, right?
Do you?
I mean, guys,
Are
if
you
they
the
willing to
accountant?
bring Travis Scott in the first place.
Like, honestly, I don't know. But from the previous time he was here, that seemed like a jump. I hope they can top that. And obviously, because it's going to be his second time here, obviously they're going to be like, listen, I came here the first time. You didn't meet it. Can we meet it this time? Because you already know what the artist is expecting. So I'm hoping that.
Yeah. Also on that, and I don't even know if you have this question, but the lineup for Travis, guys, we have so many amazing hip hop acts. Please book hip hop brews for Travis.
No, you have to beg them.
We cannot have a piano act opening for Travis Scott. And
doesn't make sense.
I genuinely mean that from my heart. Like, we have so many hip hop brews and so much young talent coming out, like Kaytranada, Brother Cooper, Kinky. Like, there are amazing young hip hop artists right now killing it. The Kwela's are number 1 on the chart.
Yeah.
Like, if I see a piano brew opening for Travis Scott, something musically with our artist curation lineups, then it's really wrong. Like, I saw it with Ghana, no offense to the team. Guys, there were barely any of our hip-hop local acts on that lineup. And I've been wanting to call this out for a while, but like, here's my chance.
Also, you saw with Chris Brown, there was like major...
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
But also, let's talk business. We're standing on business, right? We've got almost a stadium full. Of course, I'm not gonna call, for example, regular or something. I'm talking about top charting artists at that time that are gonna balance almost the energy of what
The headliner, yeah.
Sure.
So is it sometimes about just like maybe we're speaking to business also, making sure that we're giving audience that's ready to attend like a great experience?
I think a good lineup, and like, it's a valid point. You're not wrong, right? I think, again, like, the people decide.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's DJing. Doesn't matter who made the music. The people ultimately will always decide. So for me, it's a thing of like, guys, a well-balanced lineup. Have a well-balanced lineup. I'm not saying no Afro house, no piano. Those, like, Afro house is one of my favorite genres. Balance it. But also understand that, like, for a hip-hop artist in our, like, local landscape, to be on a Travis lineup, like, understand the connection it does. Understand what it does for the narrative we're trying to build from a cultural perspective. You know what I mean? Maglera, Blackie. You know what I mean? All of these artists, like that, whether they're highly established or they're up and coming and they're making moves, there's a way to balance a lineup that is still inclusive of all these amazing genres and mediums and artists that where one isn't overpowering the other one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't give me a lineup of 10 artists, 6 of which are only piano, and then 4 are hip-hop, maybe 3 are hip-hop, 1 is Afro house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Balance it. Have a good balance where, throughout the night, from beginning to end, up until Travis is on stage, it makes sense sonically. Like, the crowd is getting a little bit of everything they like.
And also, I was actually going to say, it was, we have so many amazing artists that when Travis sees all these people go up before him, he'll be like, okay, shit, I want to work with that person.
Yeah.
Because we vibe sonically. So you're putting them on like a bigger stage, but at least meet them halfway, like, yo, put all those young up and comings on and
Facts.
they'll hear the sound and be like, you know what, Travis will be like, yo, let's follow each other, let's do something. And then like you've opened up a bigger door for them. And another example that I really loved was, everyone knows Kaytranada, and my boy Yolophonic was on there. And sonically, they both the same, but differently. And I loved it because it was like, you know, the curation for the event was amazing for me. I loved it, every minute of it. So yeah, man, I love piano. I'm a South boy. I love piano. But
Just to add to that,
Yeah.
right? And when we put Yolophonic on the lineup, it was very intentional, right? I think, and just to go to your example of like, you never know what could change for what artist in that moment on stage.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to build the ecosystem where everyone can benefit from it, a big part of that is what your intention with your lineup is and what you're trying to achieve on a stage like that.
But also, to cut you, organizers would rather replicate past wins than, do you get me?
I'm aware.
Yeah.
And I'm saying like, past wins, cool. Balance. Find the balance. Like, to go to your Yolophonic point, right?
Yeah.
When Yolo was performing, we had taken K back to his green room. And he wanted to come back on stage. And he was vibing to Yolo's set on stage the whole time. I was standing on stage. I had the DJ booth with Valentine. And he was vibing. He walked up to Yolo and gave Yolo a dab and said, bro, you're fire. You're so talented. That moment alone for Yolophonic, we all know how big that is.
Huge.
That we keep talking about culture. That is culture.
Damn.
That is global culture.
Yeah. I really enjoy that. I really did enjoy that. And I think also, just a little point, consumers don't know what they want sometimes.
Yes.
So you kind of have to give them that. You'd be like, they might doubt your lineup or your curation, but the name doesn't matter who's on the lineup. The music matters. So if you're there for the music, you're going to have a good time. That's basically it.
Guys, Sunday Rose never announced the lineup. You guys all came.
You see?
You guys all came. All of you.
True, and we'll always come. Guys, now let us, put events on the spot. First question. Which events do you think books DJs based on their sound and not their following or the numbers they bring?
Oh,
So, which is a good thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Tell me. Which events? I think Mama Gashaka does that really well. Her events, she does that really well.
Okay.
Anybody
Yeah,
else?
like your Pantones, your filters.
Yeah, Pantone, yeah.
Narrow by. Shout out to Vuyo.
Yeah.
Narrow by, definitely.
McLeod,
I think
yeah.
he really knows how to nurture the person over the crowd, and he chooses quality of music based on the kind of genre you're into. If you play jazz,
Are you coming?
yes, I'm
Are you coming?
I have to be there.
You guys coming?
I have to be there.
Okay, yes.
yeah,
sorry.
it's the quality. Like he understands music
Yeah.
in a very simple way, and he plays to your strengths as an artist when he includes you on a lineup.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, and I think it's one of the few things in a long time I haven't seen. But in the time he started Narrow by up until this point, for me, I give him his flowers. He's really achieved it. Shout out.
Shout out to McLeod. Shout out to him.
Do you have an event? Or I do? It's okay if I do. It's okay because we're calling them out. It's okay.
Wow. I would definitely would say V&J, Bodega. I definitely love that. A bit of Soundset as well. They would definitely put on like people, because they did a whole activation at Play Beach Bram where you come play a set, like a whole competition thing where you play a set, and then the few people that were like had really good sets should be on the Soundset lineup. So
That's cool.
So yeah, definitely.
I didn't know that. That's very
Also,
cool.
didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's really cool.
They really did that. So it's V&J, Bodega, Ibum Nandini. You guys do that as well. Like, that's fire.
Not me, but the boys.
The boys.
Shout out.
Yeah, man. I'd also say like your Bread for Souls. Yeah, those are the few events that I know like they put on some new people, and it's just about the music, and I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
And then on to the artists, which do you think would still get booked even if they didn't have Instagram or social media?
Ooh.
Tough.
I won't lie. A lot of the cats in the South, because there's underground in the South, like Soweto, you know. But if there's one artist I know, if he had no social media, and he was just dark, I would say some people might not know him, but I would say Msaro.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. So even if he didn't have social media, he's not big on social media, he would definitely still be booked. Also, my boy Van Skosana. What is the other guy? Damn.
But I'm glad like you actually name it.
Yeah. So like a lot of them would definitely get booked, because this is the thing. I don't think people realize that some event organizers have some people that are there that are part of the team that you wouldn't know that are there. Like they're just there to have fun. But then they'll be in a group chat, nah man, this DJ's fire. And then they get the name. So whether they have social media or not, they'll still get booked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When? Two. If
Damn.
they didn't have social media, would they still get booked? Tell us.
Damn. Okay.
If you think this is difficult, I'm going to ask you an artist that's not going to get
And
booked.
social media is such a
It is
thing.
difficult because I can speak on commercial artists and I can speak on like a more niche DJ or artist or an act currently. Or one that's completely up and coming where I'm like, your music speaks beyond your brand.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of the DJs or producers, for instance, I do think can exist without Instagram. There's certain ones that I think can exist without Instagram.
Yeah.
Like a DJ Lag, for instance, a Tugs In. Their music, and those are two commercial artists, right? But their music speaks before their brand.
Yeah.
Their brand only came after the music came. So those are two big artists that I can say could live off their music, of people loving their music without the brand.
Yeah.
Even though I know realistically
It
we don't live in the
wouldn't,
age where you can live without your brand. But yeah, from an up and coming point, definitely. There's also this kid, white boy. His name's Chambers.
Ooh. Okay.
He's very talented. He's a white boy, plays this like calm techno sound. And he's moving. But like, I mean, commercially and like mainstream wise, we don't know him. But he's dope. And I'm a big fan. So shout out to Chambers.
And which artist do you think wouldn't get booked if they didn't have
Yo.
No comment.
Yeah, no, Yo.
Guys, it's not deep. It's like personal. I guess you're telling the artist now, you know, pull up your socks.
No.
It's not personal.
I feel like the things in my mind, I'll get cancelled.
Would definitely, yes. And I think it's also just a
Nate,
thing
I
of
mean, you're an attendee, you know. Would you get cancelled?
definitely. As though I'm an attendee, it's the thing of
It's an opinion, guys.
it's an opinion. It's an opinion that could be told via WhatsApp.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
okay.
Like
Post-production.
we have post production afterwards. You're like, dog, your set wasn't grand. Like it's that type of thing.
We can
Not
talk
like,
about it at River Park.
yes.
Yes. Okay, guys, now to the next topic. Is it the crowd or curation that makes it look like the event is repetitive? So now, do we know of any events where we're going, obviously, and we always see the same people? I know you're thinking about one. I know. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Where am I getting
Do you
the
have
time?
one? Also, guys, I don't think this is hate, though. We always see the same people there, which is fine. Like, it's okay, cool.
I won't lie to you. It's 50-50. It's
Nek lutele event.
no. I can
event.
justify it because
Okay.
it's 50-50 because you must understand there's people that have never been to those events. For let me just say Sunday Roast, for example. People have never been to a Sunday Roast. But when they see their mutuals on social media that are going there, then they'll be like, okay, cool, I have someone to chill with. You know, they feel the safety. And they feel like, okay, no, there's a community there. So you can't necessarily like it's the curation, it's
No, I'm asking, which event
Okay, wait.
do you see the same people every
But
time you go
also,
there?
before we even get to that, people are creatures of habit
yes.
and routine. And ultimately, all these events, all these spaces that are created around communities which are like-minded, whether it's in how they dress, what they value, what they wear, what they listen to, or ultimately where they want to be a part of and where they want to belong. A lot of creating spaces about creating belonging for community. So you're going to see the same people because people are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
You're going to see the same people because those people want to go to that event. It's something that they frequent. It's something that they care about. It's something that for them is what they enjoy. Yeah. So if you're going to say, oh, I don't want to go to this event today because I'm going to see the same people.
Yeah.
That means you're just not doing enough to go out and go to other things that are happening.
Yes.
And go find the other communities where they're doing other things. And I think it's a big problem we have is like consumers, and I think people, even event curators, need to step out of their comfort zones, step out of your routine, step out of the habit, step out of what you know, and when you step out of the ecosystem you know, to go into other ecosystems. Yeah. Because there are other things out there. There are other spaces. There are other events. You're just not tapping into them. So if you don't feel like that vibe today, I can guarantee you there are 3-6 other vibes that you can go to.
True.
It just depends on what you want that day. You know, today I might want to go hang out with the creatives and chill at Pantone and dress in one color. But maybe I want to go to Vibes on Main the next time. And those are completely 2 different vibes, 2 different communities of people, right? So you have to understand communities and spaces are built around value, intention. There's something you're getting out of that. And if you as a consumer don't know what you're getting out of it, I think it means you need to branch out more in what you're doing with yourself.
Because to add on to that point, I've started this thing of I won't say which event I'm going to. Because people will just want to be like, oh no, you're going to that event because no man, go to the events you think that resonate with you. Don't come because I'm going there.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I've done. Like, oh, you're going to this event? No, I'm not. But then if you see me there, I'll be like, no, I'm coming here, but I want you to come here and experience it for yourself. Don't let me influence you sonically or whatever in the bias situation. Like, no, man, I love it because of this. Go there, have a good time. If you see me, then we'll hang. But you've already had that time to think of the event and look at it holistically. Like, okay, you know what? I had a great time. This, and that was actually good. I'd come here on my own again.
For example, right? Good morning.
Yeah.
And like when we started Good Morning, up until now, which you said Good Morning, and we all talk about it a lot. The crowd always changes. Like there's times where I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Like maybe the people that I know out of the people that are there are 10, counting on my hands. And the reality of that is because people actually go to Good Morning for the artist, the music. So it's actually the artist and the music's demographic coming into the space, and that's always changing. But it's like, and like to go to your point of just not telling people where you're going, is because we need to know for ourselves why we're going to this event.
Yeah.
Is it the lineup? Is it my friends? Is it because I want to see the way people dress at this event? Whatever it may be, you know, like random things. But ultimately, it's a thing of like, you know, people go, oh, all lineups are the same. Oh, but you guys always book the same people. Okay, but then when we give you a lineup where you don't know anyone, you don't come in.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to exactly what I just said. Like, be willing to have new experiences, listen to new DJs, listen to new sounds. You know, you as a consumer, challenge yourself to also listen to new music so that all these DJs that we do book all the time can play other stuff that they have. Because I'm telling you now, they have it.
Yeah.
There's so many times, like I think the biggest conversation with the artists I work with and just like friends of mine that are artists and DJs and producers, there's music that they want to play, but they can't because of the consumer.
Yeah, because you always get booked for the same thing.
Yeah.
So you guys are not going to give me the event names? Basically. Also, why are you guys explaining yourselves? Is it a bad thing? It's not a bad thing to keep like seeing the same audience over and over and over and over and over again.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
So
I think
now
it means
name
you've
the
harnessed the
event.
community.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the community. So now say the event name. That is a deep.
It's not
No,
deep.
it is. How is it deep? Because I want to now explain to me if it's deep. How is it deep? Why aren't you guys saying the event names? Because you know when you go to this event on a Sunday, you get there, you're going to see the same audience.
Okay, Sham, I'll say an event, but I'm not calling anyone out because all of you guys that I'm mentioning are my bros. Okay?
Yes.
I always say the Sunset is for the bros who wear Happyville.
Yes.
Shout out to Happyville, shout out to Sunset. But guys, I want like Happyville, your consumer market is at Sunset.
100%.
Same thing? Are you also saying Sunset?
I'm saying nothing.
I mean, I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you.
That's just for me as a marketing noted. Like I've noted it. I'm like, hey man, everyone here,
Really?
Cares, like, they love Happyville. They wear it. They're part of it. And for me, it's a beautiful thing because that's the culture of the space. And I think I even told Lebo and Fago that. I'm like, yo, guys, you guys share a community and a market base. And that's important, guys. Like, cool, you're seeing the same people, but quality over quantity. Nurture your communities. It's so important to nurture the community you already have.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
So, you know, I mean, I'm sure people said it about roast all the time. I know they did. Oh, it's the same people. It's like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
Why
What do you
is it always
expect?
the same people?
why is it always the same people?
You give them the tickets, you keep...
No, guys. It's just that, I don't know.
How do you know?
I actually don't know. Like, I wish I had the answers for you. I can tell you now, tools, jacks, we all don't have the answer for you guys. It's just,
Oh, so you don't
it's the
give the same
database.
people.
No.
And the thing is,
Okay.
the charm, and it's the thing like you.
We don't.
They don't. They don't give people... Okay.
We don't. It's just genuine. Like, I think, you know, when your consumer market starts with you, they learn how your system works as well.
Yeah.
So, like, they
Systematic ticketing.
Systematic.
You just go online and buy a damn ticket. What do you mean system?
No, like, obviously the tickets for us free, remember?
Yeah.
So, like, I guess they got used to the rush and the panic and the... I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you. I don't have the answers.
Okay.
And bear in mind, there's a lot of other events that did that as well. So the thing is, a lot of people just don't study or follow the events' social media pages. Because people
People don't like to read.
Yeah. Dude, they're like, no, man, I missed the tickets. I'm like, dog, set a reminder, follow the page. That is the
No,
easiest
guys,
thing to
man,
do.
let's be honest. There are people who genuinely do that. There are people
Yeah.
who genuinely set a reminder 5 minutes before
100%.
12
I do it.
p.m. I'm coming there and I'm gonna
He
get
does
the
it. He's
ticket.
always
Yeah.
there.
And then you always get the ticket.
Yes, I think.
He's
I think. For example, for example, I can give you a good example. So, Quicket allows you to. It shows your past events. So, if I showed you my Quicket, you could see that I actually got the tickets on like genuine faith. Because the thing is, when I wake up, obviously I'll do my whole routine, but then I'll open up my laptop, I'll log into my account, leave it there, do all the things I want to do, and then an hour before, just refresh. Then like 30 minutes before, refresh. And then like 10 minutes before, phone off. Then you refresh. Then you're like, you on it because you really want to be there. So people don't want to do that. They just wanted to stay dormant for like an hour until they're ready. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Because this is the thing, people complain about the site crashing. Do you understand there's like over 1,500 of you on that site, literally doing the same thing or the same routine just to get one
now
ticket?
you got the ticket.
Because I'm lucky. Because I'm lucky. And it happens.
Sure.
It really does.
Somebody's lying.
Nah, dog,
Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. Okay, guys, I want to know what's one event that you guys will still talk about. But 10 years later, you'll know, you'll be like, oh no, Sunset, yes. Okay, maybe not Sunset, but like, you know.
Ooh.
I'll start. I think House of YOMZANSI, I feel like even in 10 years, I'll be like, oh my God, shit, what an event, crazy, what a lineup, what an audience. Yeah.
What's that?
Shout out. This is a YOMZANSI podcast. We will give us your event.
You know, top of mind,
Yeah.
beat Port Miller at the Old Park train station. I haven't had that much fun at an event in a long time. And I think, look, outside of, you know, three-step, Afro House, Afro Tech, all of it, like it being one of my favorite genres. And the lineup, the experience, man, like they really put energy into the experience of the event, the way the production looked. As much as like the event itself was simple,
Yeah.
like I'm a firm believer in less is more. So for me, like definitely beat Port Miller last year.
Yeah, I know it rocked.
Up. Like sonically, the sound, the people, the energy, the music. Like I haven't had that much fun at an event in a long time. And I think top of mind, it's been the most memorable for me. Even now, to 2025, where are we now? April, May.
Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly speaking. Also, I think just to note on that is like, it's the one, I think those genres are the one genres where like people keep saying, the thing about, oh, it's the same community, it's the same people. Afro House, three-step, let me tell you something, and deep house, and that sound is the only sound where it doesn't have a persona of person. There's no identity persona to the strategy, the marketing strategy. it's about the people, you know. I think it's purely about the people. Like, you go to things like Beat Port Miller or a kind of music or a Kunye or a UR
Or Deep Town Josie, like
yeah, or Deep Town Josie. And like, honestly, you won't see everyone you know. You see people from all parts of your country, your city, wherever you're from, you know, because people are truly there for the music. I think it's such a global sound that I can guarantee you, if you go to events like that, you can meet people from anywhere. You know, it doesn't matter where they're from. So, and any type of person as well, whether it's a 25-year-old to a 35-year-old to a 45-year-old. Like, people are purely and genuinely there for the music. And I think, yeah, man, shout out to all the guys pushing the genre.
Yeah, to touch on that, there actually has been times with different events where I've bumped into people from different countries, and they're just like, "Yo, are you from here?" Obviously, mistaking me that I'm not, and and I'll just be like, "No, I'm from here," and then they'll be like, "Yo, no, I'm from the UK, I'm from Uganda, I'm from Zim, I'm from where?" And I'm like, "Oh wait, shout out, man! Like, this is your first time," and then you have that experience, and you ask them how it was for them. So yeah, just
Back to naming the event.
this is gonna be it's gonna be very different. So for me, it touched all the points for me, and it was a Nike event that happened, actually two, but it happened in the same year, if I'm correct. There was one Nike event that happened at Atlas Studios, and it was another one that happened at Cheeky's. So
What impressed you?
like, it was sort of like a street bash, but it also had like a lot of activation inside. Like, it gave you an experience, like you go inside, you see the music, you see the stuff that is in there on display. So, and it gave me that Bram culture, like people are dripped, you know, not to take away from Cotton Fest or anything, but like it gave me that feeling like, yo, people are swagged out, you know, and it's a Nike event, you know. So I really love that, because the activation, the sound, and just the way the people were, like, Doug, there were people playing FIFA, people were like watching a soccer game as well in the streets, but it was still an activation.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, that was my most amazing event that I remember. Like, yo, I had the most fun. Everything was on point. Nothing was bad.
I love night events. Also, that Cheeky's one. I remember each room was a different thing.
Yeah.
Each room was a different
facts.
experience. It was so cool. Nike.
But I think also, like, Nike coming with the budget.
Yeah.
The budget.
Yeah.
You know, because I think those immersive experiences and those touch points that you guys are talking about are so important. Like, and again, it goes back to what I said, experience.
Yeah.
Experience.
Like, you want the consumers to experience something above the lineup, you know? And you need money for it, you need budget for it, and that's the honest truth, to do cool things like that.
You know which event property I think really needs to up their game? No, not like that.
You're getting your answer.
Yeah.
I loved it last year, but I need them to be more vocal. I need Boiler Room to speak up. I need them to come to the party and speak up. Like, last year I loved it. You know, the experience at One Fox with the 3 different stages, the different lineups.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really good. There are a few things that they could have worked on, but yeah, I need Boiler Room to definitely like step up its game. You know, they've been too quiet, and yeah, I love Boiler Room, but they need to step up.
Slowly.
Yeah.
Maybe they're coming, we don't know.
Yeah, they're cooking something in the kitchen. Guys, give me 2 events that you feel like are similar.
With like CI and everything.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave that on too.
It's not deep again. It's not deep. You just feel like, okay, when I go to this event and then when I go to the other event, I feel like it's the same experience.
Okay, I won't say names, but
Oh.
okay, no, sorry, I won't say names. But no, you'll
Put 2 and 2 together.
yeah, you'll
Okay.
think of it yourself.
The Sundays.
Not the Sundays, but all events that have themes with color.
So the Sundays.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Themes with colors.
Yeah.
You know yourselves,
Yeah,
I
so,
won't mention it.
yeah.
Most of
We're
you,
aware of you.
most of you are the same. Yes, crowd is very different, and I love
Yeah,
that.
very different.
It's like I said, the
Yes.
markets are different.
Yeah.
Even if the context and the feel is quite similar. I think the
But-
markets are very different.
But guys, I think, you know, let's relax with the themed events. You know, there's
Oh, I feel like it's part of the experience. I feel like it's nice when you give like a crowd a theme. You know, it's fun. Also, like I'm dressing up. You get me?
it's nice, but I
Maybe
think
not color.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe not color.
So I think I love people coming as themselves. Dress how you want to dress. Be quirky, whatever. So now when you're putting like a whole color onto it, hey, dude.
I
Like,
disagree
wait,
with that.
wait. I
I
disagree
also
because-
disagree. You can still come as yourself
Yeah,
in that color.
in that color.
Yeah.
And I think it's context. It's
Yeah.
like, I think it's where fashion, music, and space intertwine.
Yeah.
And it's like what I was saying now with the Sunset Happyville thing, right? People choose to define themselves with how they dress, how they show up. When you give them a direction, they get to enhance what that looks like. If I'm saying today's event is all red or whatever, or green, I'm gonna wear my best all red outfit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a thing of like belonging and value. It means you're someone, the person who's going to this event, the people going to this event, value fashion, which means they value colors,
true.
which means they value the community of people who also like-mindedly love fashion and music together. So that for me is something I would disagree on.
Yeah, same.
I know themes can be a lot. Like, it can be exhausting. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes they're telling you it's red. You want to just be yourself and say all black.
Yeah.
Especially if someone who does only wear all black. And you're going into a space for different reasons. But I do think it's important. I think themes help to hone in the nurturing element that I was talking about of that community. You know, maybe one day there'll be a sunset themed Happyville party and we'll all wear our best Happyville outfit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's how community connects. It's finding those touch points for people to belong to each other.
Yeah. But yeah, all Sunday events, they relatively, like, for me, the CI looks the same.
Yeah.
And that's okay. True. And, you know, thing is, I love the themed events, like, in terms of color. I just feel like, yo, I'm getting tired now. I really am getting tired.
But also, you're a bro who wears all black, so
All the time.
it's fine. Just walk in, say you're part of production. Be like us.
I actually stopped wearing, like, the colors.
Yeah.
And when they ask me, like, why aren't you wearing? I'm like, at least I'm here. That's all that matters.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, I'm here. Like, I think that for me tops it all. Like, I actually showed up. You know, it doesn't matter what I was wearing. I was there. We had a great time. We had some shots. That's it, you know. And I still look fly. Whether or not I follow the color or not, I still look fly. Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, any ideas to switch things up for these events?
Ooh.
Before we get questions from the stage.
They pay me to do this.
You know, this is a consultation.
Maybe not give them a big, idea, but
No,
give them...
man. Honestly, I'll just go back to what I said in the beginning. Like, be uncomfortable. Don't ever think you know it all and that you know everything. To be honest, I don't think any of us do.
No.
I think we're all learning together and we're all part of this ecosystem we want to nurture. And I think sub-ecosystems that exist. And I think it's important for us to always remind ourselves to be uncomfortable, to step out of what we know, to step out of what we used to. Don't go, oh, that's not for me. When you don't even know if it's not for you yet or not. And even if it might not be when you get there, at least you've opened up yourself to something else, you know? I think that's important. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're a hip-hop bro and you don't listen to Kom, go to Kom Therapy. To me, Kom Therapy is a constant best events in this city. Like, I mean, country now, because, you know, he's moving. But, yeah, shout out to Mlu. Like, Kom Therapy, people are there for the music. And it's simple. Like I said, simple is more. Be uncomfortable.
Any ideas?
Like, she touched on it. Be uncomfortable. Like, put on other people. Like, you know, just... It's have a balance. Obviously, in terms of what your budget is and whatever, put on other people onto your lineup. You never know what that person might bring to the table if they put on that stage.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, man, just be okay with like not pleasing your consumer and actually just let them know, like, listen, we're doing this. Come to it, you will experience something different because that DJ could bring you an insane lineup, like not insane lineup, but like insane music, and you can be like, yo, I don't know that artist, and then you follow them, and then it grows from there. So yeah, man, they shouldn't be scared to put on other DJs. Obviously, you're trying to sell tickets and trying to commercialize it and everything, trying to get a hit moment and whatever. Just forget about that and just give people something different for once. Don't try and not worry about ticket sales, even though it's important and everything. People gotta get paid, but just try to do something different. Don't be scared to do it. Like people might shock you and actually come through and pull up for you when you do something different.
Like
put the kids on.
Every event has a community, so people will always pull through.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions from the floor?
2 for Amira.
All
Oh,
right.
your way.
That's so.
Am I getting cancelled today?
What are some of the venues you appreciate in Joburg and that you should appreciate throughout your work in the event space? Secondly, what are your thoughts on DJs, artists not pitching when they are booked?
And she has an opinion.
Who book DJs and artists all the time? How do you deal with that?
So which one do you want to answer first?
I'll go to the venues.
Yeah.
One of my faves is Old Park Station in Newtown. Obviously, everyone knows it, through Cotton Fest.
Yeah.
There's something very special about that venue, in my opinion. Just what it I think the century, where it's based.
Yeah.
It's central.
And the history.
The
Sorry.
history, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, 100%. And, it's a venue where people from the west, the east, the north, the south can all come, It's not too far north or too far south. I don't think it's got a cultural placement that I think brings in community really nicely. It's also just really beautiful with the city in the background, and it's typical Joburg. So yeah, definitely the Old Park Station is a fave of mine. I think I'm gonna give shout out to what was once third place, Banka Club. And I think purely, not because of the look and the feel of, Newtown and the venue. I think just genuinely for what it's done culturally. It's held space in very different shapes and forms. And for a lot of young event entities that are starting out, And I think it is one of the places that does hold space for different sounds, different communities to exist and start up. And it's always been that since the time it was third place, when it had 2 dance floors, to the time it was Banka, and it was holding us down in lockdown, to the time that it's now Compound in Klabe. So definitely I'll give a shout out, to that venue. We need more spaces and venues like that open space and open communities and open new sounds. Then I think the last venue, you can never go wrong with venues in Mildersdrift. You can't. It's bad, man. It's an hour away. But
So far.
it's fun. It adds the sense of adventure for all of us to leave the city and we're going, even if it's an hour out, just go rock and have fun with our friends and listen to good music and vibes. So definitely venues in Milders. I don't want to say which ones because I think there's a couple off the top of my head. But yeah, definitely that. But locally in the city, definitely Old Park Station. I also give my dabs to the Nest because the Nest I think has held a lot of us down. But yeah, man, those are definitely some of them. Then to go to the question
Before we go
back
there, before we go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think with Mildersdrift, I think I complained to Tools about this a lot. I'm like, take us back to that Sunday roast where there's beach sand. Take me back to that one. That one was my highlight. I love that one so much. Even with the traveling, because I think, given experience, let people leave the city. Because people always complain, you're going to the same venue. But when they do it, you complain that it's too far. But we're giving you what you wanted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take me back to that Sunday roast. That one.
Okay. Second question.
Artists.
And name them. I'm joking.
I don't want to get cancelled. Look, I think, and I think even the artist liaison teams and the peoples that I work with, shout out to Matimu, Valentine, Lubonk, Lesaho, all of them, Because I think with all of us, there's the balance between being an artist and having to deal with artists, whether it's as a manager or as, someone who just stage manages. But I think with all of us, there's very much always been a balance between both. The 3 of us are artist managers and we do artist liaison work. Then Lubonk, who is an artist himself, and a DJ, but he also stage manager, artist liaison. It's hard, guys, because it's nice. We understand artists on that manager to artist basis, and then we also understand production and the importance of being on time, respecting the event, respecting the promoters, you know, respecting yourselves. Like, it makes it very hard to book someone when they've been late for a gig that you booked them for more than 3 times.
Yeah.
Yo.
It puts us as promoters and
Like, do
the
you
people
still
who put
book
the
them?
lineups together, like, why must we book you? We don't know if you're gonna come on time.
Yeah.
Let alone if you're gonna come at all. Like, on time, what of it all? Like, I think that's the thing. And more than anything, like, it doesn't affect us. It doesn't affect the stage manager's life. It doesn't affect my life as an artist liaison, fetching you from your car to take you to stage. This is your life. You wanted to be an artist. You wanted to do this thing. So show up for it. Respect it. Respect yourself. Respect the craft that you've committed yourself to. And but part of respecting that craft is, I think, communicate. You know, communicate with the artist liaison team that's handling you at the time. Let them know, yo, we're running late, or yo, this is the situation. A little while beforehand, cool circumstances, things happen, communicate.
Yeah.
Respect the people you work with. Respect the guys on stage. Respect the guys who you're communicating with. Because 10 out of 10 times, those are the people making the lineups.
Yeah.
Those are the people deciding who's going on what lineup, who's getting booked. So it's up to you, man. You decide. It's your story, you know. You choose how you show up when you are running late. You choose how to show up when you want to cancel a gig for whatever reason. Like, you know, and I'm speaking both as a manager and as an artist manager and someone who deals with artists in that capacity. Like, I understand, you know, like, I think there's 2 parts of this thing. Let's respect each other. Let's show up for each other. Let's communicate genuinely. And yeah, like I said, it's not my life. If I stop booking you after the 3 times you've not shown up or you've been late on the day of event and you haven't communicated if you were running late, dog, if I don't want to book you anymore, it's because my experience of you has been this.
It's been tainted.
It's
basically.
been tainted.
Sounds personal.
No, but it happens to the
It's
best of us.
genuine, bro. And it's like, I can be your biggest fan. I can appreciate the work you do. I can love your music.
But professionally,
Like, for example, I'll give a story. I won't say who it is.
say in the comment section. We want to know who it is.
We did an event, and
What event is this?
homie, it's called Motherland. And Lelo was playing before. Lelo had to get to another gig. And this was in Mildred's Drift. Lelo had to get to a gig back in town, like the city. The artist who's meant to play after him isn't answering their phone. Managers are not answering calls, texting. No clear communication or line of sight if this person is going to make it or not. Lelo now needs to play over that time on top of running late. And keep in mind, it's an hour to get back to town. And artists, they arrive, right? Eventually they arrive. But the artist is passed out, he's sleeping. He's still drunk from the night before. And it's like, yo, you know what I mean? It's like, really? Now, Lelo's played your whole set time. And you have arrived at the gig, but what's the point? You drank, you passed out. Why should I respect you?
So do you
This
pay
is your
them?
job.
Do you pay them? Even after all of that, you don't.
No.
There's no.
And then the
what?
booking fee,
The deposit fee.
yeah, the deposit fee. Do you take that back?
Well, I mean, again, it also comes down to performance contracts and us contracts.
yeah.
Like, I mean, to event promoters that aren't doing this and are booking at a scale, depending on the scale of the event as well. You know, those things are there to respect each other, to protect each other from stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know, like, and the artists who did this, it's not the first time they've done stuff like this.
I'm gonna go to Motherland's Instagram page and then light up and I'm gonna check with
And it's sad, you know, and like,
damn.
we can sit here and also call the piano artists out, as we know they recently got called out. But I'm saying this across all artists. You know, respect your time. Don't overbook yourself. If you're playing at 1 in the afternoon and you have a gig at 3, leave at 2 from that gig. Or maybe say, let me push the 3 to 4 so that there's time in between. Should you know,
Anything
contingency, like you never know what's going to happen.
Traffic,
Maybe traffic,
anything,
car accidents on the road, whatever. Like those things are life things, they happen. But yeah, man, let's respect each other. And this goes for all artists. It doesn't matter what genre or department of genres you fall into. Genuinely, this is a real thing. Like,
Yeah.
I want to book you again. Just because you are doing these things doesn't mean I don't like you. It doesn't mean I don't like your music or that any of us don't. But I also, like, this gig, it's money. It's money. We found the budget for you. Respect it.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah.
Show up for the ecosystem that you're a part of. Don't be too cool. Put your ego aside. You're not the guy you think you are. You are not the guy you think you are. No matter how big you are in the world,
Yeah.
you're not the guy you think you are. People that are big fall all the time. Like,
Definitely.
don't think we're cooler than the next person.
Period.
Because now the guy who doesn't get booked as much as you, but is hustling, that up and coming kid
Yeah.
that's getting the chance on that stage, could end up overtaking you any day. Now he's getting booked all the time. Where you at?
And also,
That's
just to touch on
That's how tango.
Boss lady Ami has spoken. Excuse me.
yeah, just to, like, and I think this is something Valentine said to me the other time, like, in terms of communication. If you're running late, send me your live location as your booking agent or road manager. Send me your live location and tell me how far you are, so I can see. Like, okay, listen, I tell the person that's on the stage, yo, this person's running late. Can you do an extra 5-10 minutes? And that person will let you know, like, okay, yes, I can. You're like, that's how it falls down to just communication. And I have one question for Amira, and it's a nice, very nice, simple question. As a consumer,
Yeah.
what do you love about an event? What, like, highlights for you at the event as a consumer, besides the music?
Good sound. Guys, and I say this to, like, myself, all of my peers who do events, who are curators of spaces and events. Good sound goes a long way in terms of how people experience the event. So I appreciate good sound, man. And I appreciate people who care about sound and understand that the quality of sound will define the quality of the groove and the energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing. Other thing is the people, man. I love people. I love communities. I love understanding what different communities love to listen to and the little quirks of, how they dress, what they wear, like the cultural elements of what that space is about. So for me, it's really those things. Those things are undeniable. Those things are purely just energy. Yeah.
Okay. So is it a rap? It's a rap. Right, it's a rap, everybody. Thank you guys for
No worries.
joining me on this episode
Shout
of
out to you.
Shout out,
Growth
yeah.
Theory.
guys
Hopefully
did a
things
thing.
do change after this episode. Hopefully, fingers crossed, toes crossed. But yeah, guys, stay fly, stay groovy. Bye. Say bye.
Bye, guys. Jeans out.